So in the previous two classes, I was discussing the theory part in simple harmonic motion. Now I will continue the discussion in this class. In the previous class, I have discussed about the expression for displacement, velocity and acceleration. And I have discussed expressions for displacement, velocity and acceleration of a particle performing linear simple harmonic motion. And I have also discussed about the term time period of simple harmonic motion. So now in this class, I would like to discuss about the terms frequency and energy in simple harmonic motion. Now you just concentrate only to listen to my discussion. Please don't write running notes when I am discussing at present. So I will be showing you the summary of all the conclusions or the notes for my discussion in a systematic way later. So then you can write the notes. Now the frequency of oscillation represents the number of oscillations completed per second. The frequency of oscillations represents the number of oscillations completed by the particle in 1 second. As I told you, when the particle moves from one of the extreme position to the other extreme position, then again moves back to the same extreme position, you can say that it has completed one oscillation. And the time taken to complete this one oscillation is called time period of oscillation. Suppose if the frequency of oscillation means the number of oscillations completed per second. Simple harmonic motion is an example of periodic motion and also an example for oscillatory motion. That means the motion repeats at regular intervals of time. So the particle performing SHM takes same time to complete each oscillation. That means the time taken to complete each oscillation is same. So the number of oscillations completed per second is called frequency of oscillations. For example, if the frequency of oscillations is given as 10 oscillations per second or 10 hertz, it means the particle completes 10 oscillations in 1 second. Or you can say the time taken to complete 10 oscillations is 1 second. So the time taken to complete one oscillation will be 1 by 10 seconds. The time taken to complete one oscillation is called as the time period of oscillation. That means if the frequency of oscillations is 10 oscillations per second or 10 hertz, then time period of oscillation will be 1 by 10 seconds. That means the time period of oscillation will be reciprocal of frequency of oscillations. So in general, if small n is the frequency of oscillations, then the time period of oscillation can be written as 1 by n. Or some of the books, frequency may be denoted by small letter f or nu. You can follow any one of the notations which you are familiar, which I am writing as n at present, small n. The time period of SHM, we can write it as 2 pi by omega. As I told, where omega is called the angular frequency of oscillations. Therefore, the angular frequency of oscillations omega you can write 2 pi by time period of oscillations, or 2 pi times the frequency of oscillations. Next, I am going to discuss the term energy. I am going to discuss about the energy of a particle performing linear simple harmonic motion, mechanical oscillations. So next I am going to discuss about the energy of a particle performing linear simple harmonic motion in the case of mechanical oscillations. Now, as I discussed earlier, the velocity of the particle performing simple harmonic motion at the instant when the particle is at a distance y from the mean position is given by v equal to omega into root of a square minus y square, where a is the magnitude of the displacement amplitude and omega is the angular frequency of oscillations, and y is the magnitude of the displacement from the mean position. So kinetic energy of the particle performing simple harmonic motion at any instant can be written as half mv square, where m is the mass of the particle. So if you substitute here v equal to omega into root of a square minus y square. So v square can be written as omega square into a square minus y square, which you can write it as half k into a square minus y square, as I discussed earlier, where k equal to m omega square, the first constant of oscillations. K is the first constant of oscillations. Coming to the term potential energy. So at present we are discussing about undamped simple harmonic motion, that means where there is no loss of any energy during oscillations. Later specifically we will be discussing about damped harmonic oscillations at the end of this chapter. But at present we are discussing about undamped oscillations in linear system. Undamped means there is no loss of any energy. That means no energy is lost due to work done. That means no work is done by non-conservative forces. When no work is done by non-conservative forces during the oscillations, then total mechanical energy remains constant during the oscillations. So here, as we discussed in work per energy, change in the potential energy is equal to work done against the conservative forces acting on the particle. So if F is the restoring force acting on the particle, I mean F is the instantaneous value of the external force acting on the particle in SHM at the instant when it is at distance y from the mean position. Let us suppose the particle is displaced by an infinitely small distance dy from the position P away from the mean position. Then the work done is restoring force. Mathematically, we can write it as minus ky Here y the displacement or position coordinate from the mean position or displacement from mean position. So change in the potential energy of the particle when it moves from the point P to P dash by infinitesimally small displacement dy is equal to work done against the restoring force. So that you can write work done by the restoring force for small displacement, we can write F dy. So work done against the restoring force, you can write minus F dy. So you can write F equal to minus ky. So change in the potential energy of the particle when the particle moves from the position P to the position P dash by infinitesimally small distance dy will be equal to ky dy. So if you not represent potential energy at the mean position O, that you denote the potential at the point P, then this can be found by integrating this. That means I am integrating the expression per du between the positions O and P. O is the mean position of the particle here, at which potential energy denoted by U subscript 0. U is the potential of the particle at the point P. Then integral du. I am integrating this equation between the mean position and the point P. K can be treated as a constant during the oscillation, so we can put outside the integral symbol. Y is 0 at the mean position. At the point P, displacement equal to y. So integral du equal to u. So potential energy at P minus potential energy at the mean position. You can write it as half ky square. That means potential energy of the particle at the point P at the instant when it is a distance y from the mean position can be written as u naught plus half ky square, where u naught represents the minimum value of potential energy at the mean position. So if Y is the mean position for oscillations, let E1 denote one of the extreme positions for oscillations, E2 denote the other extreme position for oscillations. So at the mean position, we write displacement y equal to 0. At one of the extreme position, we write y equal to plus u. At the other extreme position, we write y equal to minus u. And P is the instantaneous position of the particle at a particular instant, at some time t. Then potential energy of the particle so here O is the figure O is the mean position for the particle performing linear simple harmonic motion, at which we write y equal to 0. E1 is one of the extreme positions and E2 is the other extreme position. At one extreme position we write y equal to plus a. At the other extreme position we write y equal to minus e. And t is the instantaneous position of the particle at time t. So potential energy of the particle at the point P we can write it as half ky square plus u naught. K can be written as m omega square. U naught represents the potential of the particle at the mean positions. So, and kinetic energy of the particle at the point P, as I discussed, can write half K into A square minus Y square. So, total energy of oscillations is equal to kinetic energy plus potential energy. That is kinetic energy, you can write half K into A square minus Y square. Potential of the particle, you can write half KY square plus U naught. That is half K A square minus half KY square plus half KY square plus U naught. Just get cancelled. So total energy of oscillations, I denoted by capital E, is equal to half K square plus U naught. So at the mean position, y equal to 0. So if y is 0, y square is 0. So potential energy is minimum. So potential energy at the mean position is minimum. If you put y equal to 0, this first term becomes 0. That is, this term half ky square becomes 0. Therefore, minimum value of potential energy is equal to potential energy at the mean position denoted by U naught. So kinetic energy at the mean position is equal to half K into A square minus Y square becomes 0. If you take y equal to 0. So that is half K square. Or you can write half m omega square A square. Omega into A gives you the maximum velocity. Therefore, kinetic at the mean position, you can write half into mass into square of the maximum velocity. So at the mean position, potential of the particle is minimum and kinetic energy of the particle is maximum. And maximum kinetic energy is equal to half K square. At one extreme position, we can write y equal to plus A. At the other extreme position, y equal to minus A. So at the extreme positions, y equal to plus or minus A, or y square equal to A square. So if you substitute y square equal to A square in this equation for kinetic energy, so K will be half K into A square minus Y square is also equal to A square, that is 0. So kinetic energy of the particle performing SHM, 0 at the extreme positions and maximum at the mean position. The maximum value of kinetic energy equal to half K square. So potential energy will be maximum at the extreme positions because Y square is maximum at the extreme positions. So maximum potential energy at extreme position, you can write half K. If you substitute Y square equal to A square here, half K square plus U naught. But usually, unless you are specifically given the value of potential energy at the mean position, otherwise we take the potential at the mean position to be 0. in most of the examples in linear simple harmonic motion at the intermediate level. So if the reference position for potential is taken at the mean position of oscillations, the minimum potential at the mean position is 0, then the maximum value of potential at the extreme position is equal to half K square, which is same as the maximum kinetic energy during oscillations. If minimum potential at the mean position is taken as 0, if U naught, then total energy of oscillations will be equal to half K square. So if the minimum value of the potential energy at the mean position is taken as 0, in that case, maximum value of potential energy during the oscillations same as the maximum value of kinetic energy during the oscillations, which is same as the total energy of oscillations, which is equal to half K square or half M omega square A square. But of course, kinetic energy and potential energy do not reach the maximum value at the same instant. Potential energy is maximum at the extreme positions, and kinetic energy is maximum at the mean position. That means at the extreme position, potential energy is maximum and kinetic energy is 0. At the mean position, kinetic energy is maximum and potential energy is minimum. But total energy of oscillations will be same in all positions in undamped simple harmonic motion. Sometimes we talk about the frequency of simple harmonic oscillations for potential energy or kinetic energy. Let n denote the frequency of oscillations for a particle performing a system. Again, I tell you, please concentrate only to listen to my discussion or explanation. I will be showing all these conclusions in a systematic way at the end of my discussion. You just concentrate to listen now. Don't write running notes when I am explaining. If n is the frequency of oscillation, the displacement y, suppose if you start timing when the particle is initially at the mean position, then displacement y from the mean position at time t is given by y equal to a sin omega t. That means if the particle is initial at the mean position, and if the particle is initial at the mean position moving in the positive direction, then displacement y from mean position after time t is given by y equal to a sin omega t. So then the kinetic energy of the particle is given by half K into S square minus Y square. That means I would like to express kinetic energy as a function of time. So A square Y equal to A sin omega t. So A square Y square can be written as A square sin square omega t. So you can take A square common outside. Half K square into 1 minus sin square omega t. 1 minus sin square omega t, you can write it as cos square omega t. Half K square into cos square omega t. Or you can write K equal to kinetic energy at any instant. K square is maximum value of kinetic energy, which may be denoted by K naught sometimes, into cos square omega t. K naught represents the maximum kinetic energy. Half K square gives you the maximum value of kinetic energy, as I told you. Cos square omega t from trigonometry relations, you can write 1 minus one plus cos 2 omega t by 2. The first term here, kinetic energy. There is a Perline trigonometry. Cos 2 theta is equal to 2 cos square theta minus 1. Therefore, 1 plus cos 2 theta can be written as 2 cos square theta. So cos square theta you can write 1 plus 2 cos theta by 2. So using that formula, here in place of theta I have omega into t. So the first term is a constant term, k naught by 2. The second term varies as a function of time. This you can write k naught by 2 plus k naught by 2 into cos omega dash into t, or omega dash is equal to omega. So mathematically speaking, the angular frequency of oscillations, if a particle performs linear simple harmonic motion with an angular frequency omega, then or frequency n, omega you can write 2 pi n. Similarly, omega dash you can write 2 pi n dash. N dash is the frequency of kinetic energy. So if you substitute these values here in this equation, you can write n dash equal to n. That means if n is the frequency of oscillations of the particle performing linear simple harmonic motion, then its frequency of its kinetic energy is 2n. The frequency of its potential energy will also be 2n. It can be understood this way. We can say the kinetic energy is always positive, it can never be a negative quantity. Suppose if you consider the particle performing linear system, when the particle moves from one extreme position to the other extreme position, next travels back to the same extreme position, then we can say that it has completed one oscillation. And in one oscillation, it will pass through the mean position twice. So the particle will pass through the mean position 2 times in each oscillation. It means the kinetic energy of the particle reaches the same value 2 times in each oscillation. So if you say frequency of oscillation is n, frequency of kinetic energy is 2n. Means kinetic energy varies at the frequency of variations of kinetic energy is double the frequency of variations of frequency of oscillations of the particle. Now, so coming to the term force already discussed in the beginning of the discussion about linear simple harmonic motion from definition of SHM. The restoring force by acting on the particle performing linear SHM at any instant is given by F proportional to minus y or F equal to minus ky. From Newton's second law, this force can be written as mass into acceleration. And the instantaneous acceleration is given by minus omega square y, or omega is the angular frequency of oscillation. So the force acting on the particle SHM can be written either this way or this way. Of course, both are equivalent because k is equal to m omega square. So at its mean position, y equal to 0 and force will be 0. That's why in the examples in linear simple harmonic motion, the mean position is sometimes will be also the equilibrium position. In examples of linear simple harmonic motion, the mean position can also be called as equilibrium position because the external force or restoring force on the particle is 0 at the mean position. So at extreme position, at one extreme position, displacement y will be written as plus a. At the other extreme position, we write displacement y equal to minus a. So at extreme position, y equal to plus or minus a. That means the force acting on the particle at one extreme position, when f is equal to y equal to a, you get f equal to minus ka. When y is minus a here, then f becomes plus ka. So minus r plus ka. That means the magnitude of the restoring force acting on the particle will be maximum at extreme position. So maximum value of the force or force amplitude can write k into a or m omega square a. Or you can say that is mass into maximum value of acceleration. So next I would like to discuss some phase relationships between displacement, velocity and acceleration for a particle performing a SHM. So next I would like to discuss phase relationships between displacement, velocity and acceleration in simple harmonic motion. So the equation for a displacement from mean position at time t for a particle performing linear SHM can be written in the form y equal to a sine omega t plus delta. The values of a, omega and delta are constants for a given particle performing simple harmonic motion. A is the displacement amplitude, omega is the angular frequency of oscillations. The position of the particle at any instant depends on the value of this angle omega t plus delta, which we call phase angle for displacement. Phase is the angle of displacement, which sometimes we can also denote it by phi. That is omega t plus delta. So the value of phi at the initial position, initial instant, that means at t equal to 0. To find the initial value of the phase angle, you have to substitute t equal to 0. That will be equal to delta. So delta represents the initial value of the phase angle of displacement, which we sometimes also call it as epoch. So delta represents the initial phase or the epoch of the particle, or called epoch of the particle. Now the velocity at time t is given by v equal to dy by dt. So because you can differentiate the expression for displacement y with respect to time t. So because displacement amplitude is a constant, you can put outside the derivative symbol when you substitute the value of y. So dy by dt of sine of omega t plus delta. So that comes out to be dy by dt of sine omega t plus delta comes out will be equal to omega into cos of omega t plus delta. Now to find the phase relationship between displacement and velocity, you have to express both displacement and velocity both as sine functions of time or both as cosine functions of time. Sine of cos of omega t plus delta can be written as sine of omega t plus delta plus 90 degrees or pi by 2 radian. So there is far line trigonometry, elementary trigonometry, sine 90 degrees plus theta is equal to cos theta, or sine pi by 2 radian plus theta. When the angles are in radians, you can write sine pi by 2 plus theta equal to cos theta. Now we can see the phase angle for displacement is omega t plus delta. The phase angle for velocity is omega t plus delta plus pi by 2. That means from equations 1 and 2, did not write rounding notes. I will be showing the notes separately for you. Phase difference between velocity and displacement is equal to omega t plus delta plus pi by 2. Omega t plus delta gets cancelled. So pi by 2 radian or 90 degrees. So in any example in linear simple harmonic motion, the phase difference between velocity and displacement is 90 degrees. So the acceleration of the particle performing SHM can be written as dv by dt, or you can directly write it as minus omega square into I. So the instantaneous acceleration for the particle performing in simple harmonic motion, you can write dv by dt, or directly you can write minus omega square y. You can substitute y equal to s sine omega t plus delta. So this you can write it as omega square a. Want to write in front also sine function without negative sign before that. So there is this parallel trigonometry. Sine 180 degrees plus theta is minus sine theta. If the angles are expressed in degrees, otherwise sine pi radian plus theta. Sine pi plus theta is minus sine theta if the angles are in radian. Now I compare the three equations. 1, 2, and 3. The phase angle for displacement is omega t plus delta. The phase angle for velocity is omega t plus delta plus pi by 2. The phase angle for acceleration is omega t plus delta plus pi. That means we can find that from 1 and 3. Phase difference between acceleration and displacement for the particle performing linear simple harmonic motion Equal phase angle in the equation for acceleration given represented by equation 3 is omega t plus delta plus pi. The phase angle in the equation for displacement is omega t plus delta. So that will be equal to pi radian or 180 degrees. Similarly, if you find the difference of phase angles in the equations 2 and 3. So phase difference between velocity and acceleration for a particular system. That means the difference of phase angles here. Omega t plus delta plus pi minus of omega t plus delta plus pi by 2. Omega t plus delta gets scanned. That will be pi by 2 radian or 90 degrees. That means phase difference between the velocity and the acceleration is also 90 degrees or pi by 2 radian. So now I'd like to summarize the discussion I have done in this class, in this particular class. So I am going to show you the PowerPoint presentation of the discussion I have done so far in this class. That means I would like to summarize the discussion which I have done so far in this particular class regarding frequency and energy, etc. And those who are writing the notes, come on, get up ready with your notebook and pen. Now we can start writing the notes. I am going to show you the notes for you, our PowerPoint presentation of all the conclusions which I have discussed in this class. Come on, look at the screen. Frequency in simple harmonic motion denoted by small n equal to 1 by capital T, which you can also write omega by 2 pi. Omega is called angular frequency, as I told you, which you can write 2 pi n. So those who are writing the notes, come on, take a pause and finish writing up to here. Next, I am going to show the continuation for this. Energy in simple harmonic motion. For a particle performing simple harmonic motion, you can write kinetic energy equal to half mv square, which you can write half m omega square into s square minus y square, as explained earlier. Or you can write kinetic energy equal to half k into s square minus y square. Here k equal to m omega square. Come on, finish writing the notes till here. So those who want to write the notes, take a pause and write the notes till here. Next, I am going to show the continuation to this. Potential of the particle in linear simple harmonic motion at any instant is given by half ky square plus u naught, where u naught is a minimum value of the potential energy at the mean position. So displacement y from mean position potential energy is denoted by u, that is given by half ky square plus u naught. Can write k equal m omega square. That means half m omega square y square plus u naught. Total energy of oscillations is given by E equal to kinetic energy plus potential energy. Kinetic energy at that comes out if you add Ke plus P as explained earlier, the working, you get half Kf square plus u naught. So those who are writing the notes, come and take a pause again and finish writing the notes till this step. So next I am going to show the continuation for this. U naught is the potential at the mean position. Kinetic energy is maximum at the mean position and zero at the extreme positions. Maximum value of kinetic energy equal half Ka square, which you can also write half m omega square A square. Come on, finish writing the notes up to here. And again take a pause and finish writing the notes till this step. So next I am going to show the continuation for this. Potential energy is minimum at the mean position and maximum at the extreme positions. Maximum value of potential energy at extreme position equal half Ka square plus U naught. Means same as the total energy of oscillations. Minimum potential energy is at the mean position denoted by U naught. Total energy of oscillations of the particle will be, performing SHM, will be the same in all the positions. Those who are writing the notes, come on again, take a pause and finish writing the notes till this step. So, total energy of oscillations you can write max at the extreme positions. At the mean position, kinetic energy is maximum, potential energy is minimum. If the minimum potential energy at the mean position is taken as 0, then maximum value of kinetic energy at one of the extreme position, the maximum value of kinetic energy at the mean position, same as the maximum value of potential energy at one of the extreme position, which is same as the total energy of oscillations, which is equal to half Ka square. As explained before, if small n is the frequency of oscillations, then the frequency of kinetic energy is 2n and frequency of potential energy is also 2n. Force in simple harmonic motion. The stirring force for a particle in simple harmonic motion can be done minus Ky or minus m omega square y, because K can be done as m omega square. Magnitude of the stirring force is 0 at the mean position and maximum at the extreme position. Come on again, take a pause and finish writing the notes up to here. So I am going to show the continuation here. Maximum value of force equal to K or m omega square A. Phase relationship in SHM. For a particle performing SHM, but the phase difference between velocity and displacement is 90 degrees or pi by 2 radian. Phase difference between acceleration and displacement is 180 degrees or pi radian. Phase difference between velocity and acceleration is 90 degrees or pi by 2 radian. Come on, take a pause here and finish writing the notes up to here. And this is the working for these conclusions I have explained before. For calculation of phase difference between velocity and displacement and acceleration. Come on, take a pause and finish writing the notes working which I explained before for calculation of the phase relationship between velocity, displacement, and acceleration. So next class I will be discussing about graphs in SHM.